you're listening to or watching WHS tours out of the Yukon campus here in Starts Connecticut. And I'm here today with Ryan from Pile of Love, who, in my understanding, is calling from Wisconsin right now. So like sort of like halfway through Connecticut and LA, sort of like bridging it.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
assume.
exactly. Somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm calling you from my wife's childhood bedroom right now. So
Wow.
yeah, pretty hilarious right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So we can just like type in right now. Like if you can just like sort of like go through like how you and like the other for guys like Matt and like we're like, oh, like we should like do music together. Like how did
Yeah,
that
of course.
come through?
So obviously, like all the guys in the band, also play in other bands. I play in the band State Champs. Nick and Chris play in Drug Church. Nick plays in Military Gun. Kevin plays in The Story So Far, and Morgan has been The Story So Far as guitar tech for since the beginning. Played bass for Story, and then has been guitar teching for them for like 10 years. So all of us have been homies and friends for a while. We come from like a little bit different worlds. Obviously, Drug Church is a little heavier than State Champs and Story So Far, but we've toured together. Nick was State Champs guitar tech for a couple years, and we always talked about how cool it would be to start a band together and play music together. It just never really felt like it was going to happen. And then the pandemic hit, and it was me, Chris, Nick, and Kevin all living in LA at the time. And me and Nick hung out one night, and we just started jamming. We wrote kind of like the beginnings of like two songs. And Chris lives with Nick, so Chris heard the demos and was like, "I want to play drums on these." So I think we got together probably like a month later, and we started fleshing out those two first songs, which are the first two songs on our LP. And we were looking for a bass player, and it was funny because we texted Kevin. Kevin had just moved to LA, and he just bought a bass. He'd never played bass before, and we randomly texted him. We're like, "Yo, do you have a bass?" And he sent us back a picture of him holding a bass. He was like,
That's
"Dude, I
awesome.
just I just got this today." So very like serendipitous timing, especially with the pandemic. Kind of all of us were, we were always on tour, and we finally had time to like be home, and we weren't on tour, so we started a band. And we probably met like once a week, and we would get into a practice space and we'd just write songs. And so we put out the LP at the end of 2021, and then like it's a band. Like we're a band, but we're all doing other things. So we kind of really only like jam and write when we can, when it makes sense for all of us to be together. So we put out an EP last year, and we had some time this summer. So we got like a house in Joshua Tree, and we went and wrote a couple songs, and then we recorded them, and that's what this EP is, coming out tomorrow, or today, or whenever this is going to be broadcasted. But yeah, it just really is just kind of just out of the love of music, out of the love of friendship, just trying to have fun. So
Yeah.
it yeah, that's really the story, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like a fitting name as well. With all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So when you guys like write together, like how when you say that like your process is like different or similar to like how you write for State Champs, like how Chris and Nick like write for Drug Church and so like oh my god, sorry. And how like
You're good.
Kevin well, not Kevin, how Kevin writes for sorry so far. Oh my god, sorry. I've been just like it's late. But like
Dude, all good.
how's your process like different from your other projects? Because they start like Pile of Love like is sort of like borrows from like those like punk elements, but like it's still like more like laid back and like all that. How's it
Yeah.
different?
Well, I mean, I think all of those bands, their writing process probably starts with like a riff. Um, and that was no different with us. Me and Nick just picked up some guitars and we started riffing, and kind of were like, yo, let's write a song like this. I think he pulled up this band Heat Miser, which I wasn't really familiar with. That's Elliott Smith's rock band before he went solo. And so I started getting really into that record once he showed it to me, and I was like, dude, we should write a song like that. You inspired me. You showed me some new music that got me like excited about music, about this style specifically. So I think the first two songs that we wrote for our LP were like very we like singular band minded. We were like, yo, let's kind of try to write songs like this band. And so, we borrowed a lot of elements from that as far as like the indie rock aspect of our band goes. But our process is just literally get in a room, whoever's got the first idea, whoever's got the first riff, you just play something and everybody kind of just follows. Which is a little bit different than state champs. I think we sit down and kind of like dissect a lot more, and I think we're a little bit more critical, and I guess it's tougher to maybe get going, I think, because we've got 4 records now, and I think there's like a lot of eyes on us, and there's kind of a lot of pressure to like beat what we did last. I think with Pile of Love, like there was never any pressure. It was just, let's have fun. Let's just write. There's no one listening to us. No one even knows who we are. Let's just like make whatever happens. And I think because that formula was so fun and successful and like exhilarating the first time, we were just like, let's just do that. Let's go in the room. Let's jam. Whoever's got the best idea, let's go with that. And let's just follow it and just see what happens at the end. If it turns out to be shit at the end, oh well. But at least we like tried it and trusted the process. And there's no ego involved. There's no like, this is my band. I've got the best idea. Like it's all just like we're having a good time, friends jamming like you're in high school again, and that's what's really exciting about it. So I think that's probably the main difference in our songwriting. It's just let's just go for it. Let's just follow whatever comes. So it's fun.
Yeah, and it was really like I was like wondering as well because like so for Flipping the Future, you guys covered Game of Bricks, which I like love. I love Get By Voices. So and like it seems that there's like another cover on this one.
You would think.
or
You would think it's so.
you
It's
would
it's
think.
called it's called Song 2.
Yeah.
It's not a Blur cover. That's the only. So what's funny is like there was a name for this song. Like all of the songs were song 1, song 2, song 3, song 4. And when we were naming the songs, once they started getting lyrics and started getting melodies and stuff, I think Nick suggested like, why don't we just keep song 2 named song 2? The only other song 2 like in existence is a fucking massive song by Blur. Maybe on the off chance that like someone is searching for that song, they find our song.
That's
And I was
hilarious.
like, yeah, I was like, why not? Like we got no one to answer to. We've got no label. We've got no one like making creative decisions for us other than ourselves. So we're just like, why not? Why not? There's like nothing to lose from it. So, and everything to gain, I guess, from people maybe potentially looking for a Blur song. So not a cover. You'll hear it tonight. The record comes out soon. So, but there's a new cover on the way. We're working on a cover. So.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Like, how often like do you guys just like get together and like play like not something that you wrote whatever? Is it like a common thing, or do you just like tend to like improvise? Like, how does that go about, you think?
Yeah, I think with the Game of Pricks cover, I think we were. I don't even really remember. I think someone just kind of started playing the riff like at practice. I think Nick started playing the riff, and Morgan was probably like, "Let's cover that," and it just really like, kind of organically happened that way. It's a super simple song. It's like 4 chords. It's super easy. So it wasn't tough for us to figure out. But with this other cover, we covered a song called Poppin' G by a band called Heat Miser, who I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And we did a tour in Japan earlier this year, and we just wanted to play a cover. We wanted to play a different song, something that like wasn't ours, something that wasn't out. And so we put in some time to like learn that song. There's no tabs for that. So they're a very kind of like smaller, obscure band. So there wasn't any tabs. There wasn't like any videos on YouTube to like tell you how to play the song. So I just listened to it like 100 times and was like, all right, let me figure out this riff. I love the song, so like I don't mind listening to it 100 times in a row. And coincidentally, it ended up being my like top Spotify played song last year, probably because I was just rehearsing it so
Yeah.
much. Um, but yeah, usually it's just like a song that we all kind of like fall in love with, or one of the guys in the band will just be like, "Yo, I'm really into this song right now. Everybody listen to it and love it because I want to cover it." Um, but we're a band of musicians, you know, like we love playing music and we love like learning songs that we're passionate about. So this is like really the only band I've ever been in that was like really stoked to do covers. Sometimes I feel like covers are uh I don't know, it's like pulling teeth to get like someone to like want to do a cover because you want to play your own stuff. You want to write your own shit, you know. So this band is like all about covers. They're like, let's play, you know, let's cover this obscure band or play this like weird song that nobody knows. So uh it was funny because we put Game of Pricks out and I think a lot of people who had never heard of it just thought it was our song. So that was a nice little compliment.
Yeah. Speaking of playing live, like you guys like have not had like a bunch of like live shows, but like when you do like have like I actually like was gonna go to like Boston. I think it was like this May or like the past May,
Hmm.
but I couldn't make it, which like just like ah. But yeah, like do you guys like enjoy like playing? Like how is that for Pile of Love like specifically like how is the like live setup like
It's a blast. It's a
yeah.
blast. Like playing music with those guys is such a joy. Because they're all so talented and they're like I mean doing anything with like your best friends like your close friends is just like so much more fun than doing it with anyone else, you know. So every time we get together to play music is just such a good time. But yeah, like you said, like we haven't played very many shows. I think we probably have like 15 or so in the bag. um you know, we played a few shows around LA. We did those two shows with Drug Church in Boston and Albany, and then we did a short tour with a band called Super Crush, and then we did 4 shows in Japan earlier this summer. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's a blast. It's just fun. It's just joyful. It's energetic. It's exciting because you know everybody like throws a little bit of like live flair rather than just playing the parts just exactly how they are on the record. But yeah, it's tough to play together and find time to play shows together or like go on like a little tour because we all play in other bands full time. And so lining up 3 different bands full time touring schedules to like make sense together is like almost impossible. So there's really only ever like a week or two each year where we can make it happen, or so far. But I really do think we're gonna play some more shows in 2024. I think people are gonna really like this EP, and you know they're already responding really well to Happy to Hide. So I'm just waiting for a band that we like to, you know, end up in our email and say like, you know, come open a couple shows on this tour, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's sick. Go back to Boston, just saying.
Absolutely,
Or
absolutely.
like Hartford, New Haven, like anything that's close to like the middle of nowhere that I live in for some reason.
Wait, but New Haven I hear has got the best pizza. What's up with that?
It's
You
pretty
know
good.
about that?
Yeah. I am not a Connecticut like native, so like I'm not like as passionate as some of my like classmates and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay,
Sally's or Frank Pepe's, I think it's the other one. I've only had like Sally's so far.
okay,
But yeah, it's a good time. Long
right
lines
on.
though. Like ridiculously long lines.
Count me out then.
Yeah. But yeah, so like is there like any like particular like memory from tour that like you can tell right now? Any like involving like you or like anyone else?
Uh, well, I mean, we've only done, you know, we've done one 7 or 8 show US tour. We did that with a band called Super Crush. Awesome, incredible band. If you haven't listened to Super Crush, get into them. Super cool power pop, really, really well written songs. Um, they took us out on our first little run, and we did it in a minivan. All of our gear, all five of us in a minivan, and we would just play. You know, we played like El Paso, Texas, kind of in the middle of nowhere after midnight. We played to like nobody. It was awesome. For whatever reason, the local bands played first, and then everybody left, and then us and Super Crush played. So hilarious. We have played El Paso, but there was only like 7 people there. Uh, we played. We just have played like the most random places. I mean, we played a record store called Iconic Records in somewhere in New Mexico, I think it was, and there was like 30 people there. Just good times. Like I said, none of us have an ego. We all play in like a pretty successful bands, and to get together and do this and like kind of it feels like starting over. It feels like really trying to like build your fan base from the ground up, because none of our bands really sound like Pile of Love. Obviously, it's like a completely different sound than what else the other things that we're doing. So it's like there isn't a lot of crossover. Yeah, there's people that like know that we're doing something else, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be like automatically a fan of Pile of Love. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we're really just out there grinding, playing these small shows, and really trying to build up that organic fan base. But uh, I guess the most exciting thing that we've done as a band so far is we went to Japan. We did 4 shows in Japan with an amazing, amazing Japanese band called Country Yard. They've been a band for they were celebrating their 10 years of being a band, and they were looking for a band to support them. And I had met their guitar player Yuki years back on a state champs tour, and he's like our biggest fan, and was like, I want to bring Pile of Love to Japan to open these shows. And immediately we were like, yes, like no questions asked. We're going to Japan. Nick and Chris had never been, so I was like, let's, dude, your mind is gonna be blown. Um, so you'll see a lot of that footage from the Happy to Hide video
Yeah.
is stuff that I filmed in Japan and put together. Um, there's not really necessarily, I guess, like a specific story, but the fact that we've only played like 15 shows and 4 of them are in Japan is pretty hilarious to say as like a new band. So I guess that's my answer.
Yeah. And that's like a perfect segue like into like my next topic, which is just like you guys and like Japan in general. Like you have like a pretty like big like draw like towards all of that. And you've had like a couple collabs already, like High Schools, of course, and the hat, which I
Yep.
really want to get tomorrow. Like I set up like an alarm for 9 a.m. Pacific, so I can get it. But like how like do those relationships work? There you go.
Yeah, so Yuki, the guy that I was talking about earlier, guitar player for Country Yard, he has an amazing, such a cool brand. It's called Super Shrub Supply. Um, and he handmade these hats. He pigment dyed them from like onion peels, and we kind of went back and forth. I sent him a couple like examples of hats that I like, but I was like, I really like the leather strap. I like the fact that they're adjustable, the fact that they're like unstructured. Um, just because I'm a lover of clothing, and I'm a big fan of like collecting vintage stuff. So there are certain like hats from the '90s that like fit my head really really well that I can't like I don't find hats like that very often. And I sent him a couple examples, and he was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel the exact same way. So for whatever reason, there was just like a connection there. For the, I guess, common ground on love of the same kind of things. So he did a run of hats for our Japan tour, and he was like, I just want to do something special. I want it to be like a Super Shrub Supply Pile of Love collab. And for us, that was cool and exciting because, like I said, we're a small band, we're a new band. Like, we're always looking to do things to kind of like set ourselves apart or be exciting, maybe get some eyes on us. If you haven't heard of us or haven't heard of our music, doing things that's cool, I think people are like, oh, that's a cool idea. Let me check out their band, even if someone's been telling me to listen to them, but I just haven't. I respect the fact that they're like going out there and doing these different things. So that was just kind of a random thing. But Ice Grills, like Mizuki has been a friend of mine and a friend of Drug Church, friend of Story So Far. Like, he's like the guy, the promoter over there,
Yeah.
doing
Everybody
all the
like,
pop punk
yeah.
shows, doing all the rock shows. So he was involved in the tour, and we wanted to do like a special shirt for the release of the record over there. We did completely different artwork, a Japan exclusive CD and vinyl and a T-shirt. So I don't know, just like little things like that, are, to me as a fan of music and to me as like a collector, those things are always really, really exciting to me. And so I want to incorporate those things in our band. And so I think I'm the person that I think kind of is spearheading some of these ideas, and the other guys are like, yeah, just go for it. Like I not that they don't care, but they're just like, yo, you got a vision for it. Like, we trust you, go for it. So I appreciate the trust. If my band members are listening to this, I appreciate the trust that you guys give me to kind of make some creative decisions, especially when it comes to like merch and branding and marketing and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So we have like a couple more minutes. So like, I just want to like talk about like the new EP. Like we've like gone on to that like a little bit already, but like what like makes Super sometimes like different from everything they've done before, or similar, or like how does it like shape the future of BOL?
I think Super Sometimes is probably like our most focused work, I guess. It's only 4 songs. It's 10 and a half minutes of music. It's not a lot, but I think it's our most focused. Like I said, we rented a house in Joshua Tree, which is about 2 hours outside of LA. And we drove out there, moved all the furniture around, set up all of our gear, and just kind of had like a boys getaway. Like, we spent 4 or 5 days out there just hanging out together, really getting to know each other, grilling for each other, drinking, smoking, having a good time, jamming, playing music like all day, all night. And probably wrote somewhere around like 8 or 9 ideas, but the 4 songs that made it onto the record were probably some of those strongest ideas there. And so we would just play them over and over and over. And what I love about Pile of Love is we just jam the songs until they feel right. It's not like sitting there like banging your head against the wall being like, what's this part, or like, I don't know what to do here. It's always somebody with an idea, and we get to the song at the end of the day. So we wrote those songs, we like recorded them very crappily on our iPhone, and then we took them to a studio about 6 months later, because all of us left to go on tour. So we did about 6 months later, and I think because we had already been playing those songs, we knew them. They were like they were just like water, man. It was just like fluid. So we would jam them live in the studio, and it really only took us like 3 days to track them. But we really thought, okay, let's put some like extra post production on this. Let's put some tambourine here. Let's put a little lead here. Let's do some harmonies here. So I think we spent a lot more time crafting them post, and to make them sound the way that they do. I guess they're a little bit more polished. They have a little bit more pop sensibility. I think, like, as far as a casual listener, they're a little bit more catchy. Not that our other stuff isn't, but I think we really went for like, let's write a hook that anybody can sing, So, and I think you'll hear that on Happy to Hide. Obviously, that's probably like one of our hookiest songs. But I think just the rest of the songs are shiny. They're shiny. They've got some pop sensibility, but it's still like an indie rock band playing, and there's some more focused. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Super sometimes like by the time that this goes live, it's probably like already released. But I'm like still like an hour and a half away from getting to it. So yeah, it's gonna be available like everywhere, I assume.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you can.
All streaming services. It'll be on vinyl. If so, that'll be available for purchase if you want to check that out tomorrow through Paper and Wax Co., local indie distribution label. here in LA. And yeah, you can listen to it anywhere. Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah. Like if you want to just like do like a little like sign off, just
Yeah.
like make sure that you say WHUS stores. That's like our call sign. We can also like use that for like tagging later if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
What do you want me to say?
Just like anything that you just have to like say WHUS stores at the end.
WHOS
US.
HUS
Yes.
stores.
Yeah, that's our call sign.
WHUS stores.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up? It's Ryan from Pile of Love, and you're listening to WHUS Stores.